Better late than never. We're going to do all characters rank for the month of December. And I just wanted to give a special shout out to everybody that last month liked this video. It's always one of my most liked videos. I do appreciate it. But we're going to go into the list and we're going to talk about all of the fun stuff that is changing here in Marvel Strike Force. So let me explain what this list is real quick. Is that a lot of times we get questions on who do I spend on promotion credits? What characters do I put T4s on? And what characters are good to put, these very valuable resources? And so, in short, we've got a system where 0 through 6, and just to keep it brief, 6s and 5s are god tier characters that are going to be used in almost every game mode. And what we're considering for this month's list, and it's going to be different from next month's list. This month's list is going to be Arena, Dark Dimension 4, which I believe carries down very well to Dark Dimension 3 and Dark Dimension 2. U7 raids. Now, I really wanted to get into the difficulty 3 Greek raids, but I'm going to save that information for next month's list because we've only gone through 2 of them. The data is incomplete, but next month's list, this system right now is mostly accounting for raids. RTA is new to this list, so there's some characters that I got moved up because of RTA. Zemo, X23, and then of course all the regular god tier characters. And then we've got Blitz and War. So in short, 6s and 5s are good in nearly every single game mode. 4s are quite good characters, like exceptional, amazing situational characters. 3s are characters that have some sort of purpose outside of just Blitz and War. Maybe it's unlocking a character, or maybe they're good in a particular game mode, right? 2s are our staple characters, which are going to be only good in Blitz and War. So those are staples. And some of those are going to be better than others. And then lastly, we've got 0s and 1s. And what 0s and 1s are, those are trash. And if you pull a 6 or 7 red, 0 or 1, you're pretty upset. So let's just go over the core 4s, god tier characters. So like typically these characters right here will make my top 10 lists or top 15 lists, and not a lot changed here. And I don't want to split hairs too much between 4s and 5s or 6s and 5s. They're going to be very good. But a lot of these characters, I'm taking up to level 80. I'm getting them ready for Dark Dimension 4. They're getting all my gears. A large percentage of these characters, I have nearly all of the T4s on them, almost all of them. And I just want to kind of talk about some characters that have moved up in my book since RTA, and one character that has kind of gone down a little bit because of Dark Dimension 4. Going up in my book this month over last month's list is Doc Ock. Doc Ock has really surprised me now that I've been playing him more in real-time arena. He's a great character. Plus, we're going to be getting a legendary character event for him in the next 2 weeks. I've been putting more T4s into him. I think I've done all of his T4s except for his basic at this point. He was somebody that I was just kind of on the back burner. And now that I've been playing him more, I think he's good in nearly every game mode, and I'm going to be using him in Dark Dimension 4 for sure. Now, a character that I went down a little bit on is Black Bolt. Now, there's nothing wrong with Black Bolt. Black Bolt's still probably my favorite character in the game. And the only reason why I put him here at a 5 is just more of a cautionary table. I don't want people putting the bio gear in him to take him into Dark Dimension 4, or even really 3 for that matter. So I don't want to recommend him at a 6. Like he's good in all game modes, because it's not true. I think you need to stay away from Black Bolt because of the bio gear requirement and not being in such a scarcity. Really, those resources need to be going towards Spider-Verse for Dark Dimension 4. But is he a god tier character? Absolutely. That's why he's a 5. Mr. Sinister is also a 5. I want to say the only reason why he's there is I don't really use him in the raids currently. But I also want to just point out that Mr. Sinister, nothing wrong with Mr. Sinister. He might even get better as we get more information on Doom. Although the initial footage of Doom is a little bit disappointing. But, so was Black Order when we first got a hold of it. Maybe we had to find the optimal team. And then, of course, Ultron is still a 5. Now, I want to talk about some other characters here that have been moved up on the list for different reasons, mostly because of real-time arena. Zemo. This guy is nearly broken and not fun to play against inside of Real-Time Arena. I could see this guy becoming the most hated character in Real-Time Arena. There's nothing worse than dropping into a battle with some characters that you're trying to do a weekly mission for or something like that, and Zemo just blows them up before they even get to go. I don't know, man. This guy right here is God tier status. I'm taking him into Dark Dimension 4. He's used on my main team for RTA. Is something created good of him. Now, Corvus also went up on my book. I want to bring something up because of Zemo being so annoying. There's a combo with Corvus and Proxima where Proxima goes first and you can do a basic attack on Zemo and almost always get through a big chunk of his health, get rid of all of that, the defense up and immunity and all that stuff. So I moved Corvus up because typically I've only been using Corvus inside of Arena, Blitz and War, but now as he's getting a lot of use out of RTA, I'm just kind of talking about some here. Ghost is turning out to be more than just a one-trick pony inside of Dark Dimension 4. I mean, she's a staple now for Dark Dimension recommendations. Recommend her for Dark Dimension 4. Recommend her for Dark Dimension 3. She is the superstar of the Pimtech, which most of the Pimtech I have downgraded on this list for this month. She is getting, I'm using her in RTA. I couldn't put her on the list because I didn't account for Greek raids, but I'm pretty sure she's going to be there for raids on next month's list. She might be bumped up to a 5. We will see. But anyways, let's move on. Another character that I moved up on this list recently was Nick Fury. I'm going to try using him in Dark Dimension 4. Also, he's quite good in RTA. We will see. Just some small adjustments. Now, let's talk about the 3s on this list. And there's a lot of other great characters in here, and you can welcome to go through it. But the 3s on this list are characters that are not only good inside of Blitz and War, but they also do something exceptional elsewhere in the game. Maybe they're good in Arena. Maybe they're good in Raids. Maybe they're good in RTA. Maybe they unlock a God tier character. And that's what a lot of these are, is that these are characters that are bridges to God tier characters. Also upgraded on this list was Captain America and Black Widow. They were not 3s, they were 2s. A lot of people are using them in Dark Dimension 4. I did not use them in Dark Dimension 4. I'm using a different team, but there's a lot of value in them in Dark Dimension 4, as well as Blitz and War. Cable is getting a lot of use right now inside of Real-Time Arena because when you spawn in with Cable, the whole team gets 5% turn meter, because RTA is about speed, whatever you can do to make sure your Zemo goes first. Maybe that's Cable. Also, Red Skull got bumped up to a 3 because of RTA. Very interesting. Now, as far as Pimtech, Statue does have some merit in Dark Dimension 4 in pairing her up with Ghost, so I moved her up to a 3, but I tanked Yellow Jacket, Ant-Man, and Wasp down to 2s, meaning I only feel that they're really useful inside of Blitz and War, not necessarily needed for Dark Dimension 3. Last time I made this list, I think I gave them 3s because we were hopeful they were going to be needed for Dark Dimension. Doesn't look to be the case. Statue is a consideration for sure. I wouldn't say she's mandatory. I don't think anybody's saying anything that any characters right now are mandatory for Dark Dimension 4. 2 characters I've been very pleased with in the first 6 nodes have been, without a doubt, Ghost and Mr. Sinister, but a lot of it, Dark Dimension 4 is a different animal than Dark Dimension 3. We might have to make a separate video. It's a lot more fun to play. It's also not as grindy. I mean, Dark Dimension 3, specifically those global nodes like 7 and 8, man, they were just like, Phoenix, come back tomorrow. Phoenix, come back tomorrow. Man, Dark Dimension 4 is actually a puzzle. It's enjoyable, and it's significantly easier. And really the only frustration that I'm personally experiencing Dark Dimension 4 is getting the pieces to get in, which is the 15s, which is a massive bottleneck in this time. Some of these characters are just used for unlocks of legendary characters like Deadpool and Domino. They help you unlock Doc Ock. So that's a lot of these 3s just have a purpose outside of this team. Now, 2 new characters to the game I want to talk about real quick. Longshot and Shatterstar. Easily they're 3s. I think that these guys could be symbiotes 2.0. I really wasn't sure about putting them at a 4. Next month, these guys might be 4s. if we get another X factor, something that adds to this team, that gives that, because they kind of got this like symbiote thing going on where their passives start stacking with each other, kind of like the way the symbiotes did. Remember when we just had like Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man and Venom, and then it's like, wow, we added Anti-Venom, and then wow, that could be what's going to happen with X Factor and Lockjaw and Shatterstar. So I really just want to say, don't ignore these guys. There's something special with these guys right here. Be ready. Now, I'm going to skip down to the bottom part of the list. I think we've kind of covered some of the significant changes for the list. I made a list here of the changes. I want to make sure I talked about it. Merc Soldier is going to be added to a Skeletal team, so he went from like a 0 to a 2. I think we covered all the stuff that I wrote down on my list that's of significant changes from the month before. These 2s right here are all characters that I'm having some sort of use out of. There's the staple characters. They're useful in Blitz and War. Sim Blitz has allowed me to use a lot more characters. Most characters are being useful in War. And then lastly, down here at the bottom of the list are characters that I'm having frustrations in even using them in Blitz and or War. And the ones down here, unfortunately, this is a good reference point if you pull a character down here. And I hate to say this, last week I pulled a 6 red bullseye and I wasn't really thrilled. That's what this part of the list is. If you pull a 6 or a 7 red, that's what these 1s and 0s. They're pretty much not that great. And some of these are for debate. I mean, I know some people like some of these characters a little bit more than I do, but then it's my list. And keep in mind, this entire list, is going to depend on what kind of red stars you have on your characters. So, some of these characters might move up and down based on red stars, but typically all of these characters down here at the bottom of the list, I personally would be upset if I pulled 6s or 7 red stars. Lastly, there's some characters that I haven't had enough information on. They will definitely be in next month's list. That would be Iceman, Kitty Pryde, which are not out. Elena just came out, and Red Guardian is coming out soon, so that'd be just speculation on where they're going to fit. Dr. Doom, might have to make a separate video about this, but a lot of people are not getting what they think he was going to be. I don't know if it's team composition or knowing what the perfect team for Dr. Doom is, but I'm not hearing that it's holding on defense, and it still looks like Black Order is reigning supreme in the arena. All right, let me know what you think in the comments section about this list. I hope it's helpful to you in making decisions and putting T4s and promotion credits. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming.